Welcome. Now let's continue our journey of Islamic laws of inheritance through this practical guide. Table number 2 is organized in a way that you will move from your left to the right, like the serial number on top you can see from 14 all the way to 26. And what we are going through, when we are going through this, whatever is left behind after we have figured out the Zivil Furuz, the first table, whatever is left behind is going to fall into the lap of the one who comes first in this table. So you can see as we move on, first one is son. The first row is the row of relatives, the heirs, the different relationships. And among these, there are 5 that are highlighted right now, which are the relatives in which we do 2:1 for males and females. Which means that if sons are getting a share, this certainly means that the daughters are also getting share, but it's going to be 2:1. Similarly, if sons are getting share, then the son's daughter's share is also embedded within that pool of money. And so on, which is real brothers and paternal sisters. If we move on and we don't find son, sons, so nothing in the aulad category, then we don't find a father, there is no father's father, there is no real brother, real sister, paternal brother, paternal sister. So basically the guy left, the guy or the gal left without many relatives around. Now we move on to all the way to serial number 23, which is residuary, RES. This is now taking you to table 3, which we'll talk about in a bit, which means now that there is property that still needs to be given to someone, and now you're going to look into slightly extended family members, which will be the extended male family members. Prophet ﷺ has said, Alhiqul faraiza bi ahliha, give the due of this inheritance to the ones who deserve it or who are entitled to it. فَمَا بَقِيَ فَهُوَ لِأَوَّلِ رَجُلٍ ذَكَرٍ. Now, and whatever is left behind will go to the closest male relative. So this table 3 will help us sort out who are the closest male relatives, like is it your nephew, is it your uncle, and so on. So we'll talk about table 3 when we get to that. So let's say someone does not even have extended relatives, male relatives. Then we go towards Masla Rad, which means, if you remember, which means going back to the first Zivil Furuz and saying, okay, something is left behind, we cannot find any other relative, let's go back to the first table relatives and give them more. And if you don't find anyone over there again, if there's no one there, then we go to Zivil Arham, the maternal relationships we talked about, or the relationships from your daughter. And then the last one would be to go to Baitul Mal or state property. So take a moment to look at this table and get familiar with all its components and all the annotations. Take some time to read it. It might feel that some things are not easily understandable, so don't worry about it at all. When we actually solve the scenarios, and I'll walk you through many scenarios in this course, it becomes so easy and you will understand each and every column in more details. So just bear with me for a little bit. Now let's look at table 3 and how is that organized. Table 3 is the one that you would use when you are in that category where you're trying to figure out who is the closest male relative. So over here we see the deceased person in the center, and on top we see the generations above them, father, father's father, father's father, father, and so on. And on the right and left we see RB and PB, which is real brother and paternal brother. And then below them we see their children, like real brother's son, and then their son, and so on and so forth. Now let's do a little activity to figure out who gets the money. The 3 relatives we have here are father's real brother's son's son, then we have father's paternal brother, then we have paternal brother's son's son. Let's say you have $1 million to distribute and we're trying to figure out who will get it now. So let's figure it out. First one is we go to the father, then we go to the real brother, which is on this side, and then we need to figure out the son, and then this and the son's son. So it takes us to number 37. You know, the lower the number in this table, this means the closer you are in your relationship. Let's look at the next one. It's father's father, then it's paternal brother, number 44. Okay, you're not getting money, we know that. Next is paternal brother, son's son, and that's number 30. So we now have 37, 30, 44. Clearly number 30 is smaller, so paternal brother, son's son is the closest male relative. And that he will get the share, and let's say there are 2 or 3 sons, then all of them will share it equally and it will be distributed in that category. So this is how we'll figure it out if we reach this point, which is very rare. In my experience, I would say it's only been 3 times probably that I have used table 3 in real life. But for the sake of completeness, we should know how to calculate it and how to get about it. So this was the introduction to the tables, and these are going to be used as an algorithm when you're solving your questions. Now comes the real deal. Let's solve some questions and figure it out. See you in the next video.